We did it, buddy! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am Lucky Wolf, and today, I know I say this about every video, but today I am so excited to be doing this video. I am going to be making a video about the team that I used to win, I think it was a 40-person, maybe 41-person, mid-season showdown MSS about a week, when this was going up about a week ago, and I did use the team that you see on screen. I was, in fact, using Dachsbun plus Hail, and it was really just an incredible time. I had some incredible sets, so I just want to talk about the experience, I want to talk about the team a little bit, and everything like that, so let's get into it. So I do have pulled up on screen the standings for the MSS. So I did in total go 8-1. It looks like there was 41 people. Okay, I was close. So it was a 41-person MSS. I did go 8-1 in sets. There were 6 rounds. I went 5-1. I was the 3rd seed going into top 8, and then my top 8 match was against the same person who I played and I beat in round 6, and then my top 4 match was the only person I had lost to in Swiss, and I was able to get the run back. I will say, I do think that the team, I was very, very pleasantly surprised with how the team functioned in best of 3. I didn't have a lot of best of 3 practice going in with this team going into the MSS. I had played this team or a version of this team, I will say. Here, I can put this away. I was using a version of this team for about maybe like a week on ladder, so pretty consistently, and again, I was like kind of changing things up and everything like that, but I did run this team for about a week on ladder, and I just kind of called that my practice, and I felt familiar enough with the team. But before we get any further, I do want to give 2 shout-outs. This team was not a product of only me. This team, one, I want to shout out Diamond. Diamond actually gave me a Hail Dachsbun team for Regulation D. And that was my favorite. That was my absolute favorite team in Regulation D. And then Mr. Kurt did make a Dachsbun Hail team for Regulation E, and I did use that on the channel. I will link that video in the description down below. Super, super, super fun games. Did create that team for Regulation D. No, for Regulation E. And then I took that team and I changed it a little bit. I changed some of the, I changed some of the spreads, I changed one of the Pokemon, I changed some of the moves, all that kind of stuff, just to kind of fit how I like to play with the team a little bit better as someone who has run Dachsbun before. And then we kind of, look at Ogre Pond! Look at her! Dachsbun, don't bother Ogre Pond, Dachsbun just wants to play. And so then I kind of just changed it a little bit I changed one of the Pokemon, changed some movesets, all that kind of stuff for how I like to play with the team. I will say, before I kind of get in and discuss the rounds and everything, Dachsbun's huge! Hi, buddy! Hi! How could I not get distracted? How could I not get distracted by that? That's so freaking cute. I was mildly ill-prepared for this MSS. One, I did not bring any paper. I didn't bring a notepad, I didn't bring any paper to write on, so I have literal, not figurative, literal 0.00 notes, which I'm very upset about. I honestly can't even remember. It was such a blur. I honestly can't remember a lot of the teams I even played against, so I'm going to do my best to kind of piece some stuff together. I'm going to do my best to talk about the matchups and everything like that, but please, don't be like me, I'm begging you. If you're going to an in-person tournament, if you're doing an online tournament, please take notes. It's so helpful. It's so helpful to review afterward. It's helpful for if you have to play the same player again, like, please take notes. Please take notes. Don't be like me. And the other thing was, I was unprepared because I thought there was no way. I thought there was absolutely no way I was gonna top cut, so I didn't even bring my Switch charger. And my Switch almost died twice, once in finals, once in top 4. But people were nice enough to let me borrow their chargers, so big shout out to the community. Like, seriously, thank you all so much. When I say I genuinely could not have done it without you, I genuinely could not have done it without you, because my Switch would have been a deadsies. So I just wanted to say that, wanted to give some shoutouts, wanted to say some thank yous, everything like that, and I do want to get into the sets and get into talking about the team. I will say, I almost didn't make this video. I'll be honest with you, I almost didn't make this video because and I'll show you how to reverse engineer. So what I'm talking about is, I didn't have a paste for this team. I did not have a paste for this team in Showdown. I didn't use it on Showdown at all. I just made up a bunch of these spreads in-game. Like legitimately, I just made them up. So I didn't have a paste. So I went through and on Showdown, I went through and I reverse engineered my spreads. Can I be honest with you? Like, I'm so embarrassed. A lot of these Pokemon are missing EVs, first of all. They're missing EVs. Second of all, I didn't hyper train my Chi-Yu. I have been using this Pokemon since Regulation D, is that when they were allowed? Is that when the Ruin Mons were allowed? I have one Chi-Yu. I have one singular Chi-Yu. I just never hyper trained it. So this Chi-Yu was not hyper trained. That's kind of embarrassing. So please let me know if you would like me to release a rental code for this team. If you do, I will hyper train the Chi-Yu and I will work on these spreads a little bit before I do release it, but I literally, like today, when I went into Showdown, I realized that, which is embarrassing, to say the least. But, yeah, let's get in and let's talk about the spreads, let's talk about the team a little bit, let's talk about the matchups, and yeah, that's right, I do want to show how to reverse engineer a EV spread. So let me pull up Showdown and we'll get into it. Okay, so when I say how to reverse engineer a EV spread, right? So let's say you're using a rental code, but the paste was not released, or you can't find the paste, or you don't have the paste, any of the above, but you really like that EV spread, you know? Maybe you're outspeeding things you weren't expecting, you're living things you weren't expecting, whatever it may be, or you're hitting like a truck, whatever it may be, you like that EV spread. So here's how you would reverse engineer it, right? So I reverse engineered everything else, but I was just going to show you on the Ninetales. So I have Ninetales pulled up right, oh, can you see my, there we go. I have Ninetales pulled up here, and then I also have my Ninetales pulled up in game, right? So the first thing you're going to do, I probably have to move you out of the way because I have to see what level you're, level 62, sorry. That is important. So we see the level right there, level 62. That is very important. You're going to go in here, you're going to do 62. And now you simply go over here. I have the Terra type correct, yes. Okay, so now you simply go over here. Oh my goodness, go over there. Okay, so we see HP 200. So all you have to do is you just slide this until you see 200. That's all it is. Then we look at attack and we say attack 79. Oh, that's right. I'm like, what? The math isn't mathing. Oh my gosh, embarrassing. The other thing to do is to put in your, there we go, now it's 79. The math isn't mathing, help! Is to put in your nature as well. So we are timid nature. You can see the Ninetales in game plus speed minus attack. That is timid nature. So now it's 79 right there. We see defense is 117. No defense investment. Well, that's an interesting choice from me. Okay. Special attack right here. We see right now sitting at 124, but in the game it is 154. So we slide this, 154. Oh my gosh, look at us, we're hitting. Okay, 154, excellent. Spadef is 148. No Spadef investment, also interesting. Interesting choices. And 207 speed. So that is how you would reverse engineer an EV spread. And I have 4 EVs left over. Love that for me. Absolutely love that for me. So that's how you would reverse engineer an EV spread there. So let's say so obviously if you have a rental code, you don't actually have access to the Pokemon like this, but what you can do is when you get into a game, you look at the Pokemon summary, and then just take a screenshot, and then you go into Showdown, and you can just do exactly what I did, and boom, you have the spread. It takes a little bit of work, but if you are really jonesing for that spread, or you really like a spread, then that is how you could reverse engineer it. But now that we have done that, I do want to say, so my Chi-Yu was not hyper trained. So it had perfect special attack, which was good, and I believe it had perfect speed. It did not have perfect HP, defense, or SPDEF, I don't think. Maybe it was perfect, no, it was perfect SPDEF, sorry. You can see right here. So it had not perfect HP, attack, and defense. The attack is good, we like that. I like having not perfect attack. However, the not perfect defense and the not perfect HP may be hurt. I don't really know. We did get KO'd by some suspect things, but honestly, Gio's kind of squishy, and especially on the physical side, and I wasn't running a ton of bulk anyway. But that is just something to know about the team. Again, if you want me to release the rental code, just let me know. Definitely just let me know. But so the team, I want to talk a little bit about how the team performed in a best of 3, especially because that's what I didn't have very much practice with. But the team kind of functions, if you look at it, the team kind of functions as what is known as a 2-2-2 team, right? So we have 3 cores of 2. I almost said 2 cores of 2, and that is incorrect. We have 3 cores of 2 here. So 1 core, we have the Iron Bundle and the Ninetales. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger. Oops, live editing. Oopsie, live editing. Sorry, okay. Hopefully y'all can see pretty well. There. Let me also do this. I'm gonna cut a lot of that out. I'm just gonna cut a lot of that out. Sorry about that. So, the first core is the Iron Bundle and the Ninetales. Let me put, you had light clay. That's what I forgot to put. Light clay. There we go. So, the Iron Bundle and the Ninetales functions as a really nice Hail Core. We are max speed boosting bundle. Not very much is outspeeding this Pokemon. We, in fact, outsped a lot of things in Tailwind as well. So you can get a really fast Icy Wind off. You have Hydro Pump, you have Blizzard. I will say, I think I clicked Hydro Pump 3 times. No. I think I clicked Hydro Pump 3 times. I know I clicked Hydro Pump twice, and I know I missed one of them. I can't remember if I clicked it a 3rd time, but I did not click Hydro Pump in 9 rounds. In 9 rounds of Pokemon, I legitimately clicked Hydro Pump, I think 2 to 3 times. I did not use the Hydro Pump very much. The only reason I would use it, in Open Team Sheet, I think you need to have the Hydro Pump because one of the big ways this team plays is we don't have the best matchup into Heatran, right? We don't have the best matchup into Heatran, especially if you are Terra, especially if it's Terra Fairy. On the Rillaboom, we do have the high horsepower, which will KO Heatrans. We can also hit Heatran with the Ivy Cudgel if we don't Terra. We can body press the Heatran, but if they do go Terra Fairy, then they are no longer weak to the high horsepower. They in fact resist the body press, they resist the Dark Pulse or the Snarl that we might be going for. However, they do not resist the Blizzards that we are going for. So, in my opinion, in Open Team Sheet, you absolutely need the Hydro Pump. You absolutely need the Hydro Pump to scare potential Heatrans into going for their Terra, so you can hit them with neutral damage with the Icy Winds and with the Blizzards instead of them resisting that damage. Additionally, neutral damage with the Moonblast, you can perhaps get a small little special attack drop, anything like that. So, that is, I think you absolutely need the threat of the Hydro Pump in Open Team Sheet. I will be honest though, I think I would probably like having, oh, I can't think of what it's called. Freeze Dry, there it is, I just saw it right there. I think I'd probably like having Freeze Dry overall, just because I almost never click Hydro Pump. I really dislike missing, and I truly almost never click Hydro Pump. Plus, it would be nice to have a way to hit, if they want to Terra their Urshifu, their water Urshifu, it'd be I would love having a way to hit that Urshifu for super effective damage. Additionally, I can hit water Ogre Pawns with super effective damage if they don't Terra 4 times super effective damage. So I do think there's a real case for me taking Hydro Pump off of the bundle. The Ninetales has the Aurora Veil. I did run Blizzard, however, I've already changed that to Icy Wind. I do think this team has very little speed control, so I think having the double Icy Wind on these two Mons is actually way better, and I'm gonna keep the Moonblast. The Moonblast is fantastic into Iron Hands, and Iron Hands can be a pill, can be a freaking pill with this team. We do have the Ghost-type Terra on the Iron Bundle, as well as the Ghost-type Terra on the Chi-Yu. That way we can avoid fake-outs, but honestly, even more importantly on this team, not only are we avoiding the fake-outs, but it means that Iron Hands does not get to get that spicy, dicey recovery from Drain Punch. That's huge. I need to be getting damage, I need to be picking up KOs, and so not allowing the Iron Hands to just pick up a bunch of recovery from these Pokemon that are weak to it is very, very, very helpful on this team as well. So the first core is the Hail Core. I think I brought the Hail Core to, or at least one of the Hailmons, to every single game. These Pokemon put in so much work. Massive shout out to Iron Bundle. Did not miss one important Icy Wind. Not one. We were just talking about Hydro Pump. Bundle was like, no thank you, I'd not like to hit those, but the Icy Winds bundle absolutely had my back. Additionally, I was running double Blizzard, so in 9 rounds of Swiss, I did get 4 freezes, and 2 of them were incredibly impactful. 2 of them did not matter. One of them, in fact, I actually doubled into that spot, and I used Ivy Cudgel on that spot, so I actually thawed them out because I was faster, so I actually thawed them out before they even got a chance to move, so that one certainly didn't matter, but 2 of them were incredibly impactful. So I do like the Blizzard spam. The Blizzard spam does put RNG in your favor, even if your out is a freeze, it is absolutely possible. And so then the next core is the Chi-Yu and the Dachsbun. So the Chi-Yu, if you haven't seen how the combination works, the Chi-Yu goes for Lava Plume, and the Dachsbun gets Well-Baked Body, so whenever Dachsbun is hit with a fire-type move, Dachsbun does get an increase of 2... What am I trying to say? Sorry. The Dachsbun's defense is increased by 2 stages. That's what I'm trying to say. That is what I'm trying to say. So, with the Well-Baked Body, with the Scarf Chi-Yu, you can outspeed a lot of threats. That way you can get Dachsbun the +2 immediately, and then you can start going for body presses. You can go for a substitute if you want. You can go for Snarls, if they have special attackers on the field or anything like that. And I would say, so the really, really fun thing about this team was, again, back to the best of 3. I didn't in Swiss. I think I brought Dachsbun 3 times. 2 of those times I won, 1 of those times I lost. If I'm remembering correctly, again, notes would have been fantastic, but we don't have that. Here's what my notes would be if I had them. Anyway, so I believe I brought in Swiss, in 6 rounds of Swiss, I brought Dachsbun 3 times, and I won 2 of those games. In Top Cut, I brought Dachsbun at least once in every single set, and Dachsbun put in an absolutely incredible amount of work. One of the players that I played in Top Cut did have an Iron Hands, but the Iron Hands didn't have Heavy Slams. That's like the beauty of open team sheets, right? So the Iron Hands didn't have Heavy Slams, so I was like, oh yeah, it's probably Dachsbun time. It's probably Dachsbun time. And Dachsbun did get to pick up in finals, game 3, Dachsbun got to pick up the final KO of the game, and it was Dachsbun versus, I think it was Dachsbun versus Ogerpon? I can't quite remember, but Dachsbun got to pick up the final KO, and it made me really, really happy. And honestly, there were just some phenomenal sets, some really, really, really phenomenal sets of Pokemon. I think my opponents played incredibly. I think I also played pretty well as well. But so the Dachsbun really came out in the best. It really came out in Top Cut and in the best of 3s. So that was really cool to see. And then the other core is the Rillaboom and the Ogerpon. So Rillaboom is going to set up the grassy terrain for the Ogerpon to get some absolutely massive glides off. Additionally, I am running Swords Dance Ogre Pawn, and I like the Swords Dance Ogre Pawn with the Aurora Veil. I always like, if I'm running Aurora Veil, I personally really like having a setup mon. I feel like it just makes it so I can take that much more advantage of the Aurora Veil. So if I were to go the Hail Friends and then Rillaboom Ogre Pawn, Hail Friends and Grass Friends in the back, I did that a lot. So you can slow things down with the bundle. You can set Aurora Veil and then you can get your Rillaboom in. You can even fake out and go for a Swords Dance, and then you have, if you want to Terra your Ogre Pawn, you then have +3. You have +3 priority grassy glides coming out. And it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. In one of the games, in my round 6, in round 6, I got a Swords Dance up with the Ogre Pawn. My opponent brought in their Hisuian Arcanine, but I terrored my Ogre Pawn, so I was still at +2. Instead of only being at +1, I was at +2 because I Swords Danced. They brought in their Intimidate. I went down to -1, but then I terrored. So with the Heartflame Mask, I did get the +1, and I O-code that Arcanine with a Grassy Glide, and it was like, oops, that's game. Oops, it's just game from there. So I really like the setup mode with I like the setup mode a lot with the Ogre Pawn, especially with the especially being able to be behind Veil and just kind of taking advantage of Veil and everything like that. I also do like Iron Bundle and Chi-Yu. It's a little bit harder to go Iron Bundle Chi-Yu because if they have an Iron Hands, which a lot of people do, it's really scary. You can only Ghost type Terra 1, and then the one is immune to Drain Punch, but then the other one, you are going to be just kind of feeding that Iron Hands, right? So you have to pick your right moment, but I do like Iron Bundle Chi-Yu, like being able to get Icy Wind and Heat Wave, Icy Wind Dark Pulse, Icy Wind Snarl even, anything like that, like being able to get those big attacks off. Iron Bundle also gets to take advantage of the Beads of Ruin, so I really do like that. Additionally, one of the reasons that I do like Substitute on the Dachsbun is because there will be a lot of times where you will bring your Chi-Yu in. I also like to go Snow Friends and then Chi-Yu and Bun in the back. So there will be a lot of times where you will chip down your opponent and you will slow them down with your Ninetales and with your bundle. So that way you can bring in your Chi-Yu. You can swap the Ninetales out for the Dachsbun. As you go for a Lava Plume, you can KO both their mons, and then, so you pick up a double KO, you get your Dachsbun in for free, and not only for free, but with +2, and then next turn, if you outpace with the Chi-Yu, then you can get another, Lava Plume off, and you can go for Substitute, so that way they are forced into doubling into you, if they want to double into you. I was also running Steel Terra, still am running Steel Terra on the Dachsbun. I still think it is the best Terra. Being immune to Poison type moves and being immune to Clear Smog, that's the one. Poison type moves in general, but Clear Smog as well, I think is incredibly helpful. However, I will say, I believe a case can be made for Water type. I like the idea of Grass-type Terra, I really do like the idea of Grass-type Terra, but you're still weak to Poison-type moves, and I don't really like being weak to Tornadus. I really don't like being weak to Tornadus, especially on this team. I'm not saying on other teams it couldn't work, but on this team, I already have 2 Grass types. I cannot have one more Pokemon weak to freaking Tornadus. The other thing is Tornadus can be a tough... Tornadus can definitely be a tough opponent, especially if they're running their own weather, if they are cloaked covertly, because then your Icy Winds, you're not actually slowing them down, but usually it kind of comes down to a call first turn, especially an open team sheet. If I see that they do have the weather, usually my opponent doesn't want me to get my Veil, so it does give me a good opportunity to go for Icy Wind and a Moonblast. Now that Blizzard on the team is Icy Wind, usually a double Icy Wind or Icy Wind Moonblast if I want to do that, or if I'm feeling spicy, I can still go Icy Wind Blizzard or something. And if I see that they don't have their own weather, then I definitely set up Veil there. So that's kind of how the team... That's kind of like how the team works together. Another cool thing is if you have the Dachsbun on the field and your Rillaboom as well, your Dachsbun does have leftovers. So leftovers plus the grassy terrain is going to give you so much health back, and it did come into effect. Weaving in protects. weaving in protects and getting your leftovers and the grassy terrain, you get it's just the amount of recovery is incredible. And if you're boosted and they only have physical attackers left, like, you're in such a phenomenal spot. Obviously, crits do exist, and my boosted bun did get crit twice. One time my boosted bun did in fact get O-code, but I could have just played it safe. I didn't protect. It was last turn Trick Room. I didn't protect. I was like, there's no way they crit me. I'm gonna body press into the Ursa Luna. I'm gonna pick up the KO. It'll be awesome. Nope. I did get crit, I did get KO'd, but I still won the game, and plus that's my own fault for not protecting when protect is just always safe. I think I got a little greedy. The other time, it did not KO my Dachsbun, but I believe I was at +4, and the crit did like 88% or something crazy, and I really did. I was holding my breath, but it ended up being fine. So obviously crits are a little bit of a Crits can be hard for the Dachsbun to deal with sometimes during an end game where you're just like, okay, if I get crit, I insta-lose. But you know, that's the same thing with a lot of teams and everything like that. So hopefully that was hopefully that kind of went over the team. Again, I really wish I had notes. Next time I will definitely bring a notebook. I was just really happy that Dachsbun could actually put in work, and like I said, the team did way better in best of 3 than I ever would have guessed. And it was really cool because I was able to get the run back on the person. I got like absolutely gamed on in Swiss. It was incredibly quick. It was an incredibly quick set. I got absolutely gamed on. It was my one loss. So I played them in top 4. They played phenomenally both sets, and I was just so happy to be able to get the run back, to have Dachsbun really be able to do something. So that was pretty incredible. Please let me know if you'd like me to share a rental for the team. You do have the paste right here. I'm gonna fix the paste before I really share the paste, because like I said, we're out here just simply missing EVs. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, I am using a min speed Rillaboom. This is a min speed. I mean 0 speed IVs, 0 speed EVs. This is actually a Rillaboom from Sword and Shield that I used so that I could possibly win a speed tie with min speed Indeedee and get my grassy terrain up. I don't hate that. I still think on some teams I don't hate that. I do not like it on this team. I should not have been using min speed Rillaboom. It's very important that my Rillaboom can outspeed Pokemon like Heatran after one Icy Wind to be able to get a fat high horsepower off. Luckily, I don't think, actually, no, it did come into play. It did actually come into play, but, so that is something else that I want to note, that I am using a min speed Rillaboom, and it's not meant to be min speed Rillaboom. I'm missing 12 EVs, I'm missing some EVs there, you know, the usual. I'm missing some IVs. I actually can't believe I did this. I legitimately cannot believe I did this. Yep. Yeah, that is the team. Give me just a second. I took some notes on what I wanted to say in this video, so give me a second to just check that out. Nope. I think I covered everything. Oh, I think just the last thing is, if anyone here remembers Verse Recorder, that is one thing. Like, how freaking sick would it be if I literally could have recorded my finals match and then we could have done a match analysis? Like, that would have been freaking awesome. So please sign my petition to bring Verse, in conclusion, please sign my petition to bring the Verse Recorder back, because then I could have gone over one of my sets or something, and I think that would have been really cool. But I also could have just brought a notebook, so it's a little bit still on me. But anyway, I'm gonna call it there for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Once again, shout out to Diamond, shout out to Mr. Kurt. I will link them both in the description down below. Shout out to the community for letting me use your chargers, because like I said before, legitimately I could not have done this without you. My Switch would have been dead in top 4, so couldn't have done it without you. So just thank you all so much for the support. It's very much appreciated, and if you did enjoy, please feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe if not for none of that. And I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Okay? For real. Bye!